Discover the future of gaming this November. Hear from over 90 speakers across the globe. Check out the newest Web3 games. Over 300 esports athletes, and meet your future developers. The future of gaming is here. Don't get left behind.
Yo, hey guys, GM.
Hey, GN. How's it going, everyone?
Good morning, YGG fam. Yeah, it's going good.
Yeah, so far so
We
good.
had a busy week for Star Atlas, and yeah, Fallen. What's been happening with the YGG community?
It has been definitely one of the busier weeks for us for having some showcases going on. We've had lots of streams, lots of gameplay tutorials. We've brought on Rome as well, one of our partner guilds, and they've been great, jumping on a bunch of streams, helping people get situated in the Star Atlas, universe here. And it's really just beginning, right? The Sage Lads game went live on Thursday, on the 21st there, so we didn't technically have a full week of gameplay with that. I know the Unreal Engine 5 game was out, but I'm sure a lot of people share my sentiment that that game just takes a whole lot of stuff. Yeah, as you can see, No ACLs has it up there. Look great on your new PC, but for all of us running some older hardware here, literally your PC is chugging along saying like, no, what are you doing? Please stop.
I feel it. Feel the pain. Yeah, but it's been great, honestly. I've been following along with some of the activities. Sage Labs is pretty cool, honestly. It's, that base builder type of vibe, resource gatherer. So looking good so far.
Yeah, and with that being said, Sedano, I think we have a little walkthrough. I don't know if we want to throw that up now or throw that up later.
Yeah, just I have a quick question just for Fallen and for the guys here in the community. So we have Rome, which is one of our partner guilds, right, Fallen? And yeah, can you tell the community more about what Rome does? And I mean, shout out to Winston and Fancy Hat, and the rest of the Rome community for helping us out. And but yeah, in any case, right, our community members would want to expand and also meet new people and other communities. So what's the stitch with Rome?
Yeah, so just like how we've brought on Tiff, right? Our other gaming guild for Pixels there. Rome is really going to take the helm when it comes to getting us situated within Star Atlas. Obviously, they're veterans of the game. They know the game way better than any of us do. So they're not only going to help us, dictate the strategy going forward on how we can dominate that, but they're also going to be there to walk people through with guides. So I believe it is a Rome member that created this video, or again a friend of Rome. And on top of that, we'll be able to go into their Discord and kind of get more information there on what it is. So it's just one of those relationships that we set up where we want to be situated with the best guilds in that game. We want to work with their communities, also in creating quests. So there are gap quests in the pipeline for Star Atlas, and Rome has played a big part in kind of shaping what those are. Again, we don't want like the really simple quests where it's like, just sign up and start playing. Like, that's pretty basic. We want those hardcore quests that are going to really push our community to go that extra mile and really know what they're doing in that game. So one of the quests that we've been teasing is actually crafting the golden ticket. Star Atlas has this golden ticket that you can craft in Sage Labs, and it's one of the hardest items to craft. You'll need pretty much one of each resource, and the whole idea with these tickets is you can then add them in raffles. There'll be a different raffle every week with different items. that you can win. So let's say 1 week the raffle items aren't anything you want. You save your tickets for a week that you do actually want the items from, and then you can put it in. The more tickets you put in, the higher your chances, just like a lottery, right? And then you have the opportunity at winning those prizes. That being said, these raffle tickets are on chain, and if you actually don't want to try and win any of those items, maybe you think you're not lucky, like myself, right? You can just sell that raffle, that golden ticket, in the Star Atlas marketplace, just like any other NFT. So you have a bunch of options, but like I said, if you are going to be participating, here's your hint to start collecting resources for that ticket. Another really cool thing that you'll be able to do is you'll actually be able to craft ships. So there is one ship that you can craft right now. So if you want to expand your amount of ships that you have, there will be that opportunity. Now, the other thing I wanted to mention too is if you don't have a ship right now and you can't pay Sage Labs, you do have an opportunity in this stream. When at the end of it, if you stay throughout the whole thing, we will be doing again a giveaway of some ships. And again, if you don't win today, I will be hopping on the Rome stream tomorrow with Phil and Day, and we will also be giving away ships there. So you got 2 more chances or so to have an opportunity to win a free ship to get you in this game. So yeah, stick around for that.
Nice. I'm not really sure, but I think there's something going on with golden items and Web3 games, right? In My Pet Hooligan, the reward of the season's battle pass is golden underwear and also golden socks. So I think there's
Love
some synergy going on here with these games releasing golden items. But yeah, for the rest of the community, we have a video from the Star Atlas team giving us a quick walkthrough of how Sage Labs works and how you guys can hop on. And don't forget, we're going to be giving away NFTs and ships, which are ships, right? Fallen at the end of the stream. So congrats to everyone who's here. Tell your friends about what's happening tonight and send poof anytime you're ready. Roll the video. Go.
Hey everyone, this is Dominic, the community manager at Star Atlas, and I'm going to be walking you through Sage Labs, our early access 2D browser-based game that is being built entirely on the Solana blockchain. It offers real-time gameplay with a focus on deep space, resource extraction, and crafting. Sage Labs is a simplified yet engaging introduction to the Star Atlas universe and provides you with an authentic taste of the game's economic systems and play-to-earn opportunities. It's releasing today, so let's head to labs.staratlas.com and walk you through how to play. Once you're here, choose the only game in the drop-down menu and connect your wallet. Now that we've connected our wallet, we'll need to create a character, which will ask you for your faction and the name that you want. Alright, we're in. You're looking at the Sage Labs dashboard. This is where you'll find a map of the Galia expanse, sectors to explore, and an overview of what your assets are doing. At the top of the dashboard, you'll also find your Atlas balance and something we're calling Atlas Prime. Atlas Prime is a solution we created so you can pay for Solana fees directly in Atlas. By default, this is enabled, but you can disable it by hitting the cog wheel. Now that we've gone over the dashboard, it's time for us to head to our faction central space station. The central space station for your faction, or Oni 1, Mud 1, or Rooster 1, are your starting zones because they're the only starbase you can deposit assets from your wallet into. I'm Oni, so I'm going to head to Oni 1 now. The first thing we need to do at our central space station is deposit ships. So click on the deposit or withdraw ships, and you should see the ships that you have in your wallet that are ready to be transferred to your central space station. I'm going to deposit a Calico Compact Hero and a Pierce X4. With our ships on our central space station, we can now form them into a fleet. Head to Starbase Hangar and press Form a New Fleet. Something to keep in mind when forming a fleet is that there is a limit to how large a fleet size can be. The larger the ship, the more fleet space usage it adds, so just make sure it doesn't surpass that limit. You can also name your fleet whatever you'd like at the top of the Form a New Fleet page. Once you select your ships and name your fleet, press Form New Fleet, and you're good to go. We now have our ships deposited and formed into a fleet. Before we leave the central space station, we need to fill our fleet with resources like fuel, ammunition, food, and toolkits. Head to my inventory and, similar to depositing ships, simply input an amount to transfer for each resource. If you don't own any resources, you can acquire them at play.staratlas.com. Start by transferring them into the Central Space Station, and once done, send them directly into the fleet you just created. Important note here is to fill and keep track of your fleet's resource consumption. If you find yourself in the Galia Expanse with no fuel, you'll need to self-destruct and respawn your ships at your Central Space Station. You'll also lose all the resources in your cargo. Losing your hard-earned resources is something no one wants to go through, so keep track. Our fleet is set up, fueled, and ready to go out into the Galia Expanse. The very last thing to do before setting out is to strategize. In Sage Labs, you can craft incredible Star Atlas loot, like ships, land, and golden tickets. So make sure you look at what you want to craft in a Starbase's Starbase Crafting Workshop tab, and find out what resources you need to obtain that item. Once you know what resources you need, view the sectors in your faction, and look at what resources a sector has in the Mining Operations tab of each sector. So we've imported our ships, we've created our fleet, filled our fleet with resources, and we've made a plan. Now it's time to set out. In your Starbase hangar, click on your fleet and press undock. Once that's done, head to undocked fleets to see your fleets. Press the Manage Fleet button and you'll be greeted with a map of yellow symbols that represent other sectors. Click on your desired sector or tile and press Warp to travel there. This costs fuel, so remember to keep track of how your fuel is looking. Once you press Warp, you can see your fleet move in real time on the blockchain at your dashboard. Alright, so we've arrived at a new sector. Let's exit the warp for our arriving fleet by clicking Go to Asset Location on that fleet on the dashboard. Once you're there, click Exit Warp. Once you exit the warp, to start mining, head to the Mining Operations tab. From here, click on the resource and the location, and finally click Initiate Mining. Your fleet should start mining using food as the resource to do so. Click Manage Fleet from here and go to Mining Ops tab to see stats related to your mining operation, as well as the option to harvest resources and stop mining. Remember to keep track of your fuel when warping so you don't need to self-destruct and lose the resources you just mined. The last thing that's incredibly important in your crafting journey is something called a survey data unit. Survey data units can't be mined and must be scanned for in the Galia Expanse. To scan for them, click on Manage Fleet for an undocked fleet you'd like to scan with. Head to the Sector Scan tab and press Start Scan. When scanning, you have a chance to find a survey data unit, so scan when you can. Each fleet has a scan cooldown, and scans cost toolkits to use, so you'll need to be mindful of that when farming scans. This has been a high-level walkthrough of how to play Sage Labs. All that's missing is your strategy now. If you have any questions on your journey, join our Discord at discord.gg/staratlas, where the community and team will always be around to answer them. Good luck in the Galia Expanse.
Nice.
GG Star Atlas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out to Dominic who killed it in that explainer video. Yeah, go ahead, Paul.
Yeah, I was gonna say we'll have that tutorial posted up and pinned in the Star Atlas part of our Discord. So if anybody needs to go back and brush up, one of the main things there, like he said, is when you're choosing your faction, choose Oni. We're all gonna be Oni. So if you go Mud or any of the other ones, when PvP comes out, we're going to stomp you.
Oni, Oni, Oni.
Yeah, just like how we do it in LOK.
Exactly, right? No sympathy for stragglers. Sorry.
Every game we play, we go hard.
So I have a quick question, Fallen. So let's say for example, right, like the community members get a hold of a few ships from our AMAs, our events throughout this week, right? Are
Yep.
they set and ready to go to play the game and start mining resources, or are there any other pieces that they may need to get started?
Yeah, so that's a great question, Sedano. So you will need to have a Solana wallet, obviously. That's where all of Star Atlas runs. It runs on Solana. You'll need to have SOL, so Sol, on that wallet. You need to be able to, obviously have transaction fees. The other option there is to have Atlas, which is Star Atlas's currency. You can also transact in that. Regardless, you're going to have Sol. You can run the game without having Atlas, but you will need to have Sol. On top of that, you won't have any of the aforementioned ammunition, food, fuel. I believe, and don't quote me on this, that you can get those in the market at the beginning, and then later on you can actually craft those. Um, I still have to dive in and actually dig deep on that myself, so there might be differences there, but I'm sure you could ask anyone from the Star Atlas community, and they might be able to help you out. I'm sure if you're a member of Rome, if you actually go into the Rome Discord and you know work with them there, all of these resources are on the blockchain and they are tradable. That's what the amazing thing is. So if somebody's really generous, they might be able to give you enough to get going. That being said, please don't go into any of these servers and start begging for it. There's nothing worse than a beggar, and that's the quickest way to get banned or shunned very quickly.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I remember, I think Dominic mentioned, right, that some of these resources are purchasable on the Star Atlas website itself. And I'm pretty sure, like, if you guys, keep joining Star Atlas events throughout their community and YGG's as well, there are always a few giveaways that these projects host and these communities host as well. Because, like, one, it's also a way for them to be able to get new members to join their communities. And the good thing about Star Atlas, Rome, and YGG, right? Like, we're always on the lookout for other communities as well who want to join and partner up and participating in the Star Atlas ecosystem as early as now. One of the important things that that actually, like, stuck with me and watching the video, and also from our AMA with Michael last week, right, is that we're starting to see bits and pieces of what Star Atlas, the Unreal Engine 5 AAA game, will look like on an economic level. Maybe I have a question here for Fallen and ACLs. So what do you think about this kind of approach, especially for AAA games that may not be released anytime soon, but are already interested in giving the community a taste of what the bigger picture looks like? Is this a strategy that a lot of games should adapt, or is this unique to games like Star Atlas? What do you think about it?
ACLs, I'll let you tackle this one first.
Yeah, for sure. That's definitely a big question. To be honest, personally, I've been enjoying, these games that are pushing to make an insane experience. Obviously, a AAA title. We know it's going to take years to develop anything that has, like big, massive gameplay experiences like what they have in store. But I think it's great that they're building in public, taking the feedback from the community and just creating things step by step and giving you a chance to experience it as it develops, right? And then once we hit the final product, whether it's a year from now, 2 years, 4 years, obviously it can keep, building out and getting more expansive. But I think it's a great way to build out a game. And in the end, the community will resonate with it a lot more because there was so much involvement, right? And like this game for me, like the biggest thing that stood out, like another AAA game on the traditional market I'll mention is Destiny. It's very comparable to this, but the scale that Star Atlas is trying to take this game, it literally blows my mind because I love the concept of a space travel exploration game, sci-fi, all this good stuff. And Destiny was a game that, gave you a pretty close to, the experience of traveling planet to planet and having that open world MMO social experience. But Star Atlas has taken it to another level. There's so many layers to participate in the game, and they want to make this world so open that you can fly planet to planet with these massive spaceships and fleets and hundreds and thousands of players in the open world. It's very ambitious, and they're building it one step at a time with the community. So I'm all for it, and I think more games should do the same thing.
Yeah, 100% agree with ACLs there. I'm a big time player of Destiny as well, and it's kind of very reminiscent of that. The one big thing with Star Atlas is you got to remember every resource in this game is on chain. So when you mine even the lowest one, that is on chain and that is sellable. And that's one of the reasons why working with a guild is going to be important, right? Maybe you only have the ability to mine one resource, but you need a bunch of other ones. Well, know what? Mine a whole heck of a lot of that resource and then trade up to whatever other resources you can, right? All of these are tradable, all of these are marketable, and I think that's really cool. They also said a lot of these resources or items that you craft or whatever are, you know, cross transferable into their Unreal Engine games. So you might actually need to play the um, the browser game to get things needed to like use your ship or upgrade your ship in the Unreal Engine 5 game. So there's going to be this kind of cross play ability, right, where certain items are needed from the other game. And let's say you only want to play the Unreal 5 game, right, the big AAA one. Well, guess what? You can go on the market and buy items from the community that's playing the web browser game, and you don't even have to touch the web browser game, and vice versa, right? Maybe if you don't have a PC that can play the Unreal Engine 5 game, well, you're still going to be able to enjoy the browser-based one and contribute to the overall economy of Star Atlas, which I think is a really cool game. That's one of the things with, you know, Destiny or a lot of other games, or what really enticed me about WoW back in the auction house, right, was this player generated economy where it's, you know, ever changing. One day, you know, and WoW, this item might be the biggest thing in the auction house, and you might be able to, you know, make a million gold or astronomical amount. But once that gets flooded by, you know, the rest of the community, well, now another item's in hot demand, and there's this ever changing economy, which, you know, is very reminiscent of real life, right? And adds that extra layer of things. That's the one thing about Destiny that kind of irks me, is all of these amazing items that I get. I'm kind of like, I put them in my vault or I break them down and that's it, right?
Right. Honestly, Fallen, you make so many good points. Like I was gonna say, like Destiny ticks a lot of the boxes, right? But it's so gated. Like we're no strangers to the grind. Like farming strange coins, working towards exotics, grinding all of these insanely difficult quests with our friends, putting hours into the game, and some folks even spending money on the game as well, right? So having that agency and doing what Star Atlas is doing, allowing it to be an open marketplace for the players to dictate how they spend their time and how they use their resources in game and across experiences within Star Atlas, it's just taking it to another level, and it makes it even better. Like Destiny and games like, in the same genre, they need to be doing this moving forward. Give the players the power and the game will flourish a lot more. It won't just be going to the game and the publishers and so on. It would be going to the players as well. So big things going on.
Interesting. Yeah, from what you guys just said, right? Like I'm starting to notice a bit of a trend here. There's slowly becoming of a shift of what we know as the current meta for gaming, right? Where a game, let's say on mobile, looks the same, right? But then when you hop on a PC, is you're playing with a whole set of different players. Like you have PC players, and also you can pump up your graphics and stuff like that. But from how I see it, is slowly games like Star Atlas are changing what the new standard of Web3 games, or the future of games, will be, right? It's one, as you said, right? It's asset ownership. Two, it's crossplay, and three, maybe I would add, it's IPs, right? Like we see all these studios investing a lot more time on building the IP itself in tangent with making it playable for everyone. A good example here is, I'm pretty sure all of you Web 2 fans out there, Web 2 gaming fans out there, know about Farlight. So Farlight is like crossover of Call of Duty Mobile and PUBG and maybe a bit of Valorant. But one thing that really sticks out here is that them opening the doors for crossplay. So, going up against a game like Call of Duty Mobile or Call of Duty itself, right? Like, that's not an easy task. But right now, especially in Southeast Asia, Farlight is very, very popular among streamers, casual gamers, just because of the ability to be able to play against PC gamers and mobile gamers wherever you are. And looking at that, adding the factor of ownership and also very powerful IPs. Not to add, these founders, dev teams who are very credible, who have worked on huge titles in their experience, coming together and bringing all of that knowledge into Web3. It's really exciting. What do you think about, other games following this path, Fallen and ACLs? Do you see this becoming a trend, or is it something that might not actually work? What do you guys think?
I think the proof is in the pudding, right? You've seen it with many games, whether it's Fortnite, Minecraft, Call of Duty. Your IP is your biggest thing, and it allows you to branch into many different genres. Because that's the one thing. Games are ever evolving. Niches change. Right now, we're really in this big, extraction survival genre, but much before that, it was battle royales, and then right. So it's ever changing, and there's always the opportunity if you have a good IP to branch into whatever's hot, as well as still keeping your existing player base. Um, that's just gaming in general. I think many games kind of see that, whether it's Web 2 or Web 3. That's what you got to do to kind of stay afloat and be relevant. I think the big change coming is this on chain ability to kind of track it in a transparent thing. you know Warzone has angered quite a lot of people because they're closing Warzone 1. So anybody that's, bought thousands upon thousands of skins, well, guess what? Your skins aren't carrying over to Warzone 2. And, Activision or Blizzard, whoever, leads them, is kind of essentially saying, well, too bad, so sad. And we've seen that in many games, right? Like where you buy stuff and unfortunately the game, is just, they don't carry into the next sequel, or there is no sequel. And, you've put your money into that, kind of understanding that that's the case. Well, if it's on blockchain, there's always the opportunity for players to do other things with it. Again, right, on blockchain, you're able to decide as a publisher who, like, is it a free IP? Can anybody do whatever you want with it? Is there restrictions to it? And that will definitely add to the longevity of your game going forward, right? If you say, hey, I'm a free IP, so even if for whatever reason their studio closes down, players will still be able to do whatever they want with that IP, and create new games themselves or keep the game running, which I think is a really cool idea. It's something that no ACL has touched on there, where it's like it gives a lot of agency back to the players to decide, where it's not all on the corporations and stuff to decide what's going on. So there's more of this collaborative effort, between what's happening with the player and the actual studio, which I think is beautiful. ACLs, what are your thoughts there, buddy?
Yeah, honestly, I think it's beautiful as well. And I think, Sedano, it's not only a trend that's working, like games across the board are adopting this model of crossplay. It's been happening for years already. Even Destiny's adopted it, FIFA, all the games I love, like they've all been moving in this direction because of this era where everybody owns different platforms, right? Whether it's PS, like PlayStation, Xbox, PC, whatever you're on, and you don't want to have to repurchase the game again and have to go through the process of grinding and getting everything all over again, right? So it's a big thing, and I think it's going to continue to win and continue to flourish across games throughout all markets. It's just a matter of time. And the next step is, like Fallen mentioned, just giving agency to the players. Like there's so many games, like we talk about Call of Duty literally just taking down the servers, and all of these players time and especially the money that they've put into the game. Like a lot of us are from the era of Blockbuster, where we could rent, trade, and buy and sell our games freely, right? And when this digital transition took place, a lot of that control has been kind of taken away from the players, and it's a little unfair. So it's nice to see that we have the tooling and the infrastructures in place to help support innovation and provide players with the power over their in-game items and their time, essentially, right? Because that's what it really boils down to. And if you want to move on to something else, it's great to have the freedom to rent, sell, trade, buy, whatever it may be, because you purchased it from the get-go, right? You should be able to make that choice moving on. And all these additional layers of having, the cross IP, being able to port in your assets into other game experiences, and the transferability aspect as well. Like that's the reason I quit FIFA, to be honest, is because year after year, grinding Ultimate Team, buying packs, putting in that time, the assets don't transfer. They're not usable in the next game, and there's no integration or experiences after that at all. So blockchain and what is happening right now in the gaming space really just opens it up, and the possibilities are endless. So
Mhm.
it's just getting started.
Yeah. Yeah, you touched on a few important points there, ECLs. And also Fallen. You mentioned, you know, all, if not, I mean, most, if not all, items and maybe possibly actions and, the Star Atlas ecosystem or similar games with the same approach. Having everything recorded on the blockchain. So not necessarily on Ethereum itself, but there are a couple of L2s or layer 2 solutions actually focusing on, zero gas costs, better commit times, increased transaction throughputs. So like with the technology continuously evolving for especially those that are applicable to blockchain, we will be able to start seeing games that will want to do the same thing that Star Atlas is doing, right? But the question here is it necessary or is it that important? If yes, why? I mean, what's the difference of having all your actions recorded on a chain? And I mean, don't aren't we already doing that right now? I mean, what's the importance of um, someone or like let's say someone else seeing you pick up a super rare rock and having that recorded on chain? Like looking at the transaction, seeing that ACL's picked up the rarest rock in game at this date at this time. Like, is that needed, and why?
ACLs, you want to tackle this one first?
Yeah, sure. I have a little bit of an outlook on this. There's many ways that this could work. There's no one dimensional like solution, right? And I think really, if you look at it, it's a lot simpler than we're making it out to be. You know what I mean? It's as simple as like this is obviously the social aspect, right? When you're playing with your friends or you become an esports player, you're part of a guild and you're a very skilled player, you participate in tournaments, you become known. That's the social aspect, right? You hit certain accolades, you might get certain badges, you might unlock achievements or trophies or win certain tournaments and events, right? So this builds up your progress report, your recognition, reputation, essentially. So there's a social aspect because people will then see you. I remember looking at FaZe and some of these guilds and like esports teams in the MLG scene and being like, wow, like they really did some cool things. So if that was on chain, the entire space, the entire community, like even players across other games and genres will be able to see what's happening, right? You could have a dashboard just like how Microsoft and Sony they have their achievement platforms, right? It basically takes that to another level and opens up this social graph where everyone can kind of see who is dominating what, who is, really putting in the time and unlocking the legendary gear and finding all the next level items in games, right? So it's a way of connecting in a more social way, to be honest. Like it just takes it to another level, enhances it. That's my outlook. Is it needed? I don't know. It depends if it makes sense. If some communities want that, some games want to integrate that. But every model is different, right? We have custodial models, we have non-custodial models. So there's a way for it to work regardless. You just have to choose what it is you like, right?
Great points. Great points. Fallen.
Yeah, totally agree. I think it really ties into this idea of there is this big issue with bots, right? So knowing when a player is real. Previous games, right? There's ways to kind of get into the server and duplicate items. So again, might be great if there's a really rare item, but it totally sucks if somebody's able to duplicate multiples and they actually haven't done the work. I think blockchain does solve a good portion of that, right? When it's a public ledger, it makes it a lot harder. I wouldn't say it's impossible, but the ability to do so is multiples harder to do. So that's definitely one. And like ACLs was saying, right, and something that Gabby's really preached is this like web3 resume or the future of work, right, where you can kind of see on chain what somebody's done to verify them and really see what path. It's something that we've been talking quite a bit about here at YGG with our reputation system. Um, is like, being able to kind of choose your own skill trees in real life, which I always just thought is like a really cool idea. Like, wouldn't it be awesome, to tangibly say, like, hey, I am an esports player, or hey, I am a streamer, and then be able to show that on the blockchain with proof that's like, oh, this person has streamed, 10,000 plus hours, or played 10,000 plus hours in this game and competed and won multiple different tournaments, right? I think that's like a really cool idea. And then it's like gamifying life in a sense, right? Where it's like, look, I've chosen my skill tree and my path, and I can show you how many skill points I've put into that tree, right? So I think there's a lot of opportunities to integrate blockchain and Web3 into these games, where it's not so much of a pain point. I really don't like having the distinction between Web 2 and Web 3, but that's something that there has to be right now. But I think every day we inch closer and closer to where that distinction will just disappear. Again, it's not like we ever really talked about what Web 1 was and Web 2, right? That's just a thing of the past. I think we will get there as well with what we call Web 2 and Web 3, where it's just, oh, this is just how it is and this is how it's always been. It's just a matter of time. Unfortunately, just like, again, when we were transitioning into Web 2, right, there was hiccups along the way. There was the big bust in 2000 where, a ton of internet stocks went up and everybody thought the internet was just a fad. I think we're kind of at that same inflection point here with Web3, and the people that are building, like YGG and all of these other games that are sticking around, are the people that are going to, be building all of these systems that go in place to bring us to that next point. And I'm really excited to see where that goes. There's a lot of naysayers, just like there was with Web 2, and it's just a matter of kind of blocking those out. Obviously, taking their criticisms to heart. Right, there has been, we've been plagued with scams and all kinds of different things. The NFT boom and bust has definitely not helped us. But all we can do is truck along and try and repair all of the things that these bad actors came and kind of took advantage of, right? And that's how we go. That's how things develop and get better, right? Is you see the things that break, you fix them, and the things breaking is actually a good thing, right? It allows us to fix it and then not have a problem down the road.
Yeah.
Yep, 100%. Yeah, I mean, something to look at here, right? There's always a lot of discussion around like what do we build first. I mean, like most developers, would always say, like we're after the technology, we're on a race to. I mean, everyone's on basically a Web3 gaming master race to be able to deliver, what ought to be the blockchain promises, right? It's the transparency, it's the on-chain data, and going back, right? The question is, like, do we have that technology? Like, is it already available? And just recently at token 2049, right? Polygon, Sandeep Nelwal, just had a talk about the progress that they've achieved with zk proof powered solutions. And I think like in the very near future, like there are going to be more projects, more companies that will specifically focus on helping improve the tools that we need in Web3 gaming. It's really not a matter of if, right? It's more of when, and I think that when is happening. I think sooner than we realize it ought to be happening. I mean, guys, it's always a great time getting to sit down with you and the YGG community to talk about these nitty gritty stuff. But yeah, so I see that we have the whole YGG community on support here across the board. So guys, if you are on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch, join us here on the YGG Discord. That's discord.gg/YGG, because we are giving out 15 spaceships. Is that correct, Fallen?
I think the number has gone down to 11 or so.
Okay.
Because we don't actually have that many, or we're reserving a few. So the number has gone down slightly, but we still are giving away free ships.
Nice. All right. So that's the magic number is 11. So everyone here on Discord, yeah, you definitely have a chance to get those. We have Senpu and Jude and Mungdags will be helping out later at the end of our live stream to to draw some winners. So excited for that. And guys, if you have any questions for the team over here, don't forget to drop them down on the AMA discussion text channel. So
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, we will do that raffle. I think we're gonna do the wheel of names there. We'll keep it simple. We'll keep it quick. I just wanted to say, just like in the chat, if you have won a ship this week, maybe please let other people who haven't had a chance or opportunity to win a ship go there. Um, we will. I have your wallets in your Discord names, so if I see you winning two ships, I'm not gonna disqualify you, but I might put you on blast publicly
If
for everybody.
if you get three, he will definitely he will
uh,
definitely put you on blast.
exactly. We want to have everybody an opportunity to play the game, right? And you really only need one ship to play the game. What you do after, if you test it out and you're like, this isn't for me, I want to give it to somebody else in the community that's playing, that's totally fine. But yeah, out the gate, I'd love for these ships to go to people that haven't necessarily had an opportunity to win one out the gate there.
Awesome. Yeah. So Fallen. Let's say for example we have our community members here who still want to get on Discord live streams or community discussions about Star Atlas. What's the best way to sink in? Let us know.
Yeah, so obviously we have the Star Atlas channel in our Discord, which will be populated with links. The Rome guys will also be there checking that channel if you have questions. We also have the links to the Rome Discord where you can join there, and they, I think, have a few other games, but Star Atlas is their bread and butter. So if you really want to dive deep into that and like strategize with them and their fleets, because that's another big thing that will be coming to that web-based game is PvP. It's not out now, but there will be a PvP point where, you know, I think factions will be doing battle. I'm not sure if you can attack people of the same faction, but factions will be going head to head, and you can steal other people's resources and stuff like that, like a pirate essentially. So that's really where, obviously playing as part of a guild or as a team will be crucial, right? You don't want some pirate team to roll up on your ship and be like, there goes all your resources, right? So definitely, if Star Atlas is your cup of tea and something you want to dive into, there's lots of resources here. The Star Atlas Discord, there's a lot of friendly people there as well. Their team has been very gracious enough, obviously, to give us these ships to give away to you guys. So, feel free to go out there. A lot of these Web3 communities are very open to, helping people get situated, giving them the information they need. So don't be afraid to ask for help. Obviously, do not beg for help, but asking in a polite way for it will usually end up getting you what you need to get the ball rolling there. If you do want to stream the game within our Discord or anything like that, we are starting to onboard more streamers and initiatives there for them. I think Gap Season 5 will be talking about more streaming quests. As you can see, we're putting together more weekly streams. We have the Game Hunters, Ladies for Gaming, no ACLs. I think you'll be starting to kind of kick up some stuff when you get some more free time there. AC's been doing
Yes,
a lot.
yes.
I've been having my weekly stream as well. So if you have an idea for a stream, even if it's just one or two, not a regular thing, please reach out to me myself. I'm happy to kind of facilitate that and promote you to the broader community. And yeah, on top of that, I think maybe we should put together, maybe no ACLs. This is something you, maybe for one of your streams, and just all hop on and talk about blockchain. I think we kind of got on a
Yeah.
tangent there, not so much about Star Atlas, but just the the blockchain itself, right? Which is exciting for us to kind of chat about. So if that's something that our community kind of wants to hear more about or even participate in, right? Maybe we could have
Yeah.
a round panel of a lot of our community members and just talk about that. Um, it's one of the things we want to put together more community content and driving that together. That's one of my initiatives here. So yeah, if anybody from the community has ideas or wants to be a part of that, please, reach out personally, send me a friend request, hit me up in those DMs. We'll get stuff started and going there.
Yeah, I feel like we could have kept going. As soon as Sedano mentioned ZK, the previous like discussion we had, we could have just kept that rolling. But yeah, good chance, good chance.
Yeah, I love how how this AMA turned out because at the start of the week, right? Like we have usually have the kickoff AMA with a guest from our partner games, and throughout the week, it's the community just covering the games, how to play it, and I think it's a really good wrap up, right? Like thinking about all the back end stuff, right? The processes, up and coming technologies that help improve these games that are slowly being released moving forward. So it's a really a breath of fresh air being able to talk, about ZK, IP, and yeah, a lot more stuff coming real soon from the guys over here from Fallen, Sedano, and ACL. So Fallen, you mentioned like ideas for streaming. My Pet Hooligan is finally out on Epic Games. Season 0 is live, baby. So maybe the question here is when My Pet Hooligan stream, because I know a couple of community members, guilds are already booting up some community tournaments, and yeah, that would be good to have our YGG community as well on those streams and mini community events as soon as possible.
Yeah, for sure. I'm personally excited here with my Huli as well to kind of jump in. I don't think you need to hold a Huli to play it,
No,
right? You
no,
can
you
just
don't.
yeah,
No, it's
exactly.
free to
So
play. Yeah.
there
Yep.
you go. If you guys don't have a Huli, no problem, right? You still can play the game and jump in with people. The game looks fantastic. I saw you were playing it a little bit there, Sedano. I've still yet to install it on mine. My computer does not meet requirements. It's time. It's
You'd
really time to upgrade.
you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised. Like the PH community, Guild House, the Knights, YGG PH as well. We're actually filling up servers, the Southeast Asia servers, last night. So each game has a max of 16 players, and like the two Asia servers were fully were fully being played by YGG community members. So that's something amazing to see and a lot of exciting stuff, right? So, guys, thank you so much for dropping by our wrap up AMA with Star Atlas and a lot more games. I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one who's noticed. All these games are coming out one by one, and
We've
ACL's
Yeah.
4090
storm.
is just right in time, right? ACL.
Right on time, man.
It
I'm
was
looking
like
forward to jump into all these games. So
it
it's
was
good
like a
stuff.
blessing in a sense that your laptops kind of pooched it. It was like it's time. The games are coming.
Yeah, I guess it just worked out that way. But I was working for a long time and just stacking up gradually. So that was just the incentive to go for it. So yeah, I'm gonna be looking out for all these tournaments and keeping up with all the events and all these new games that are on the way. A lot of them are launching on Epic, so keep your eyes peeled. There's some good
Yep.
titles on the way.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Um, Yep. So, guys, if you are still here on the live stream, if you're still watching on Twitch, Twitter, Discord, Facebook, yeah, join us on the AMA discussion channel because we are going to be drawing 11 winners of our Star Atlas NFTs. So, guys, don't forget, next week we will be kicking off another game spotlight with one of our partnered games, and we might just be doing the same thing where we're going to be giving out some goodies from our partners there throughout the week. So stand by. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and share, and tell your friends about what has happened tonight. It's uploaded across the board for everyone else to watch on your own free time. So ACL's Fallen. It is always a pleasure getting to hang out with you guys and the YGG community. Yeah. Cheers, guys, and see you in the metaverse.
Yeah.
Peace
See you
out.
in the metaverse. Together we play, guys.
Let's go. We are YGG.
Now arriving, Star Atlas Vessel Showroom.